In a landmark ruling that will reverberate across America for generations, the United States Supreme Court has upheld birthright citizenship, striking down President Donald Trump's executive order that sought to end it. The 14th Amendment stands. The 14th Amendment stands, and one of the most significant constitutional battles in modern American history has reached its conclusion. Here is everything you need to know. Birthright citizenship is the legal right of any person born on United States soil to be automatically recognized as a citizen of the United States, regardless of the immigration status of their parents. It is a principle that has been embedded in American law for more than 150 years. It stems from the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1868 in the aftermath of the Civil War, which states in clear and unambiguous terms that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to its jurisdiction are citizens of the United States. For generations, that single sentence has guaranteed citizenship to virtually every child born on American soil. Until President Trump signed an executive order seeking to change that. Shortly after returning to office, President Trump signed an executive order seeking to reinterpret the 14th Amendment, directing federal agencies to stop recognizing birthright citizenship for children born in the United States to parents who are in the country illegally or on temporary visas. The order represented one of the most direct challenges to a constitutional right in modern American history. Trump and his supporters argued that the 14th Amendment has been broadly misapplied, and that the phrase, "subject to its jurisdiction," was never intended to extend citizenship to children of those without legal status in the country. Critics, including constitutional scholars, civil rights organizations, and attorneys general from across the country, immediately and forcefully disagreed. Legal challenges were filed in courts across the United States almost as soon as the ink on the executive order was dry. Federal courts across the country moved swiftly to block Trump's executive order. Multiple district courts and appeals courts ruled against the administration, finding that the order violated the plain text of the 14th Amendment. The legal challenges made their way through the court system at extraordinary speed, reflecting the constitutional gravity of the question at the heart of the case. The United States Supreme Court, the final and highest arbiter of constitutional law in America, agreed to take up the case. And today, the court has delivered its answer. The United States Supreme Court has upheld birthright citizenship. Trump's executive order has been struck down. The court's ruling affirms what the overwhelming weight of legal precedent and constitutional scholarship has long held: that the 14th Amendment means what it says. Children born on United States soil are citizens of the United States. That right cannot be removed by executive order. That right cannot be reinterpreted away by any president. It is a constitutional guarantee, and today the Supreme Court has said so in the clearest possible terms. The 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868, just 3 years after the end of the Civil War, specifically to overturn the Supreme Court's infamous Dred Scott decision, which had denied citizenship to Black Americans. Its citizenship clause was written deliberately and broadly. All persons born or naturalized in the United States, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States. For more than 150 years, that clause has been interpreted to mean exactly what it says, that birth on American soil confers citizenship. The Supreme Court's ruling today reaffirms that interpretation, and makes clear that only a constitutional amendment, not an executive order, could change it. The practical implications of today's ruling are enormous. Millions of people whose citizenship or whose children's citizenship would have been called into question by Trump's executive order can breathe a sigh of relief. Children born in the United States to undocumented parents remain citizens. Children born to parents on temporary visas remain citizens. The principle that has defined American citizenship for over a century and a half remains intact. And the precedent set by today's ruling makes any future executive attempt to undermine birthright citizenship significantly harder to pursue. The ruling has drawn immediate and sharply divided reactions across the political spectrum. Supporters of birthright citizenship and immigration advocates have hailed the decision as a victory for the Constitution and for the millions of Americans whose citizenship was put at risk by Trump's order. The Trump administration and supporters of the executive order have expressed disappointment, with some signaling that the fight is not over and that legislative or constitutional routes to restricting birthright citizenship may still be pursued. The ruling will undoubtedly fuel further political debate about immigration, citizenship, and the limits of executive power in the United States. With the Supreme Court's ruling now handed down, Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship is effectively dead. Federal agencies that had been directed to implement the order will now be bound by the court's decision. The administration may seek other avenues, including pushing for a constitutional amendment to restrict birthright citizenship in the future. However, amending the Constitution requires a 2/3 majority in both chambers of Congress and ratification by 3/4 of U.S. states, an extraordinarily high bar. For now, the 14th Amendment stands as it has always stood, and birthright citizenship remains the law of the land. 158 years ago, the United States ratified the 14th Amendment, a promise, written into the Constitution, that every person born on American soil would be recognized as an American citizen. Today, the United States Supreme Court has reaffirmed that promise. Trump's executive order has been struck down. Birthright citizenship has been upheld. And the Constitution, as it has so many times before, has held the line. We will continue to follow the political and legal fallout from this landmark ruling and bring you updates as they develop.
If you found this report informative, please subscribe so you don't miss our next update.